Hi, I'm Ajanta from Inner Sight Counseling. Today I'm going to talk about divorce and how do you tell your children about divorce. I think divorce rates have gone up very substantially. I think the number of couples going in for divorce have really gone up. I think one of the things that you can see just in a city like Bangalore, the number of family courts that have opened up, extra number of courts to accommodate the number of divorce petitions that are filed at this point. So I think the number of divorce cases, yes, has gone up. The common reasons, again, it's a huge spectrum. From in-laws to finances to infidelity to abuse to emotional incompatibility to addictions like drinking or drugs. There's just a whole bunch of reasons why people go in for divorce. I think first thing is that divorce is never an easy option, or it's never an easy thing to decide on. People go back and forth, and which is why more and more you see people divorcing now after years and years of being together. I think it's just remember that it's never an easy option, either for the person who's initiating the divorce or for the person who, if it's not mutual, that is, or for the person who's being told that the partner wants a divorce. I think it's never an easy option. I think this I will actually stick my neck out and say that it's actually a really terrible decision to stay in a marriage for the sake of kids. I think the amount of harm it does for kids, the way it impacts kids if couples stay on for the sake of kids, I mean, you just can't even list. Children are not just, there is this concept that kids get affected by parents fighting. Yes, true, they really do get affected by parents fighting, and I'm not talking of minor squabbles, but really big fights. But the other thing is also that parents' relationships are the biggest. Children actually model themselves a lot on parents. So a child who has seen, let's say a boy who's seen his father misbehave with his mother, grows up thinking it's okay to be with a girl in a certain way, or a girl who's seen her mother as a pushover thinks it's okay to be a doormat. Sometimes that sort of modeling happens, that it not just impacts them as kids, but it impacts them when they're adults and in their personal relationships as well. So to stay together for the sake of kids, very bad idea. Children, I think one of the biggest needs for children is safety and security, and I think they feel safe in an environment they understand, with both parents being there, because they've grown up seeing that as a norm. Any change in that is going to be unsettling and is going to raise a lot of questions for the child. So when you are planning to divorce and you have to break the news to your child, be extremely sensitive to that. I think also depends on how old the child is. A 2-year-old versus a teenager would have different the reaction or the impact would be different. So I think keep that in mind. I think you don't need to get into too many details with children. It would be nice if after all the difficulties in the relationship, you've been able to come to a space where both you and your spouse can talk to each other respectfully and tell your children that that it's not working out and you're going in for a divorce. It's important to reassure them. Children sometimes tend to think that they are responsible. They tend to think that they are responsible because the parents are fighting because of them, or that they could not manage to get their parents together. All sorts of things that children assume are their responsibilities and have a lot of guilt about it. So it's important to reassure your kids. Please do that when you're talking to them. Be honest with them without getting into details. Reassure them that you love them, and as much as possible, things wouldn't change in that space. So this was about divorce and its impact on children. If you'd like to know or hear more about relationships and different issues related to relationships, do tune into MDill.